Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I have some information to share with all of you from focus groups from Engageus. If you guys have been watching the show for a while, you know how much I enjoy Engageus, these focus groups that they do on a continual, ongoing, I think it's a monthly basis. They'll take small groups, so this isn't a huge sampling, but what I like about this is these are swing voters. These are people who voted for Trump in 2016, and then they voted for Biden in 2020. So I think it gives a really great perspective on where the electorate is sitting right now, what's really resonating with them, what their concerns are. This last one that they did was specifically Georgia swing voters. So these are people who live in Georgia. Again, they voted for Trump in 2016, they voted for Biden in 2020. So here's the questions that they asked, or at least most of them. I didn't cover all of them, but I covered, or am going to cover, the ones that I think you guys would be most interested in hearing. So they were asking on the question of Biden versus Trump on the Israel war. 10 out of the 11 in these focus groups said that Biden is doing a better job than Trump would be doing. They said they absolutely trust Biden far more in this situation. None of them believed that this will lead to World War III, which is something that has been talked about in the media lately. There are some concerning signs. So I don't know if these people just aren't paying close enough attention. They don't really understand all of the dynamics, but none of them were concerned about that. 8 out of the 11 think that the U.S. should be sending financial assistance for humanitarian aid. And then 3 out of the 11 believe that the U.S. should offer additional military assistance. And they mean like boots on the ground, like actual military assistance, not just like weapons. As for the Ukraine war, they were asked about that as well. 7 out of the 11 think that the U.S. should provide more weapons. 9 out of the 11 support the idea of giving Ukraine more funds. Now, that really shocked me because I have, as I'm sure all of you have seen, all of the rhetoric online seeming like, and from the polling, that people are really turning against the Ukraine war. Not that they're against helping, but they're just saying, okay, we've done enough. Like, we should pull back. We should maybe rethink how much we're sending. Other countries should step up instead of it all falling on us. So I was kind of shocked to hear how many of these people were interested in offering more aid, especially given that they had voted for Trump in the past. They were then asked about the whole speaker debacle, about how Kevin McCarthy had been kicked out, how, they're trying to find a new leader for the Republicans in the House. Only 6 out of 11 could identify former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. They were shown his picture and they were asked, hold up your hand if you can identify this person by name. And like I said, only 6 out of 11 could actually identify him by name. That is pretty pathetic. He is the third in line for the presidency, or he was. Now, all 11 said it would be beneficial for the Republicans to nominate a speaker that at least some of the Democrats could support. That also kind of shocked me. Even the people on these panels who were Republicans said they believe that it would be helpful for the U.S. to bring people together to get things done if they had a Speaker of the House that at least some Democrats could get behind. They then asked them, how do you feel when you see President Biden? Not how do you think he feels, how does he make you feel? And they asked for them to give a word or a phrase. This is very instructive. Here's the answers: neutral, nervous, frustration, disappointing, overwhelmed, curious, comfortable, frustrated, confident and secure, fragile, satisfied. So not really great. Overall, not great answers. However, they then asked, do you regret voting for Biden in 2020? Not a single one of these people said yes. They all believe that they made the right decision. And then they asked them, would you take Trump back? Under any circumstances, is there any scenario in which you can perceive of yourself choosing Trump again, taking him back? Again, zero. None of the 11 people in these two different focus groups. So again, not a huge sampling, but very telling. And this is what we see over and over and over again. People are not excited about Biden, right? People are like, meh. I mean, all right, I'll take him if it's him versus Trump, but that's about it, right? But they definitely don't want Trump back. Now, they were asked, would you take a different Republican over Biden? 3 out of the 11 said yes. 1 said Nikki Haley, and then 2 said Mike Pence, believe it or not. And they asked, who are you registered with? Are you a registered Democrat? Are you a registered Republican? 4 out of the 11 were Democrats. 4 out of the 11 were independents, and 3 out of the 11 are Republicans. Here's the funniest part, which tells me that some people do not pay attention to policy whatsoever. It's all about personality. It's all about whether they like you or not. One of the women who said that she would vote for Pence over Biden is a registered Democrat. So she would vote for Pence, who wants to ban all abortion from the time of conception. On a federal level, he wants to ban abortion. She would vote for a man who wants to reduce or eliminate Medicare and Social Security, and someone who thinks that people in the LGBTQ community are an abomination. Oh, and someone who stood by Trump's side, did his bidding, said nothing for over 4 years, even after he left office, after Trump attempted a coup, and then only spoke up when he was forced to do so by the courts. But she said she thought he did a good job. I don't know what it is she thinks that he did that was so great, but okay. Anyway, they were also asked, what is your top issue? The responses kind of surprised me in that they were just all over the place. So the first said LGBTQ in sports. That was the guy's response, not just transgender people in sports. The entirety, apparently, of the LGBTQ community should not be playing sports, in his opinion. And again, this was one of the registered Democrats, according to him. Another person said the deficit, and then other answers were divisiveness. 3 of them said the economy, immigration, mass shootings or gun violence, turmoil amongst the Republicans, specifically war in Israel and Ukraine, and then 1 said the housing market. So the one response that got the most was the economy, which is what we've seen in the polling. So that really tracks. Again, Biden needs to step it up. He needs to do something to relieve the pressure on people economically, because that is his biggest blind spot, in my opinion, and his biggest weak spot. He should have fired Jerome Powell as soon as he took office. He should never have kept Trump's guy in there. He has destroyed the housing market with these ridiculous rate hikes that are doing nothing to quell inflation, because you can't fix the greed of corporations by raising interest rates. You're trying to fix like a broken leg by, giving someone a lobotomy. Doesn't work. 2 different problems. So anyway, when asked about the issue of crime, 3 out of the 11 said that is one of their top 3 concerns. 8 out of the 11 said that they've seen an increase in crime since COVID began. And they were asked, what do you attribute that to? Who do you blame? Most of them said, we blame the perpetrator, we blame the criminal. But of course, there are extenuating circumstances. There is an economy that is, causing a lot of people to struggle, not be able to afford groceries and rent and so forth. People had a very nuanced view in these two different groups. The next question was about their news source. This was also all over the place. Even the Republicans said that they watch CNN. So that surprised me. Only a couple of people mentioned Fox. And what didn't surprise me was how their views were very skewed from the rest of the focus groups. Their views were more, oh my God, immigration, that is the biggest issue we have. And, oh, it's just terrible. We've got to do something. It is so obvious that that is where they're getting their news. So surprising in some ways. But again, I really love focus groups because you can get to information that you can't get by polling. You can get down into the weeds and ask follow-up questions. Whereas polling, it's so, just one or two dimensional, really. I mean, you ask questions and the answer can mean so many different things. So for instance, I was sharing this with some friends of the show. We do a hangout every month. If you guys are interested in getting in on that, check out the links below this video in the description box. Anyway, we were talking about all of this and my love for focus groups. And I was telling them why I like them is because you have questions that really skew the thinking within our country. A perfect example is when you ask people, is the country moving in the right direction? Okay. Everyone sees the high number of no's, right? We have such a high percentage of the population in the country that says, no, we are not moving in the right direction. And everyone in the media runs with it and assumes, oh my God, hair on fire. Everyone hates Joe Biden and the Democrats, and they think that they're doing a horrible job. I'm not saying some don't, but it's more nuanced than that. You have to ask the follow-up question because even I think that the country is moving in the wrong direction, but I don't think that the Republicans should be in charge because I think the country is moving in the wrong direction because of Republicans. I mean, we have freaking Nazis down in Florida hanging signs off of overpasses and marching and scaring the hell out of people. And all over the country, we have some out in, other parts of the East setting up a camp literally to train Nazis. I will share that story with you guys someday soon. Terrifying. But you have, people banning books. You have people committing horrible atrocities against other human beings because of their chosen gender, because of their sexuality, because of their religion. You have, them taking away rights from women. And I don't see Democrats standing up as strongly as I would like, but I place the onus on the Republicans because they are in charge of the House. They have blocked things in the Senate. They have blocked things overall that Biden wants to do. They have blocked progress. And I see what's happening with the Supreme Court and all of the corruption and the greed there and in Congress as well. So no, we're not moving in the right direction as a country. But that doesn't mean I place the blame all on Joe Biden and the Democrats. So you cannot get to the truth of the matter and what people truly are feeling, what the American people are feeling with these polls that don't ask any follow-up questions and give no context. So that's why I love focus groups. I think it allows people to expand and expound upon their answers. And then they also are hearing from other people in the group, and it might inform their decisions and their thinking, and they may come around to a different understanding of something. So I think that they're highly beneficial. I think that they're highly informative. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video, share it with everyone you know, become a subscriber if you have not already, become a donor if you possibly can, or leave a tip or a super thanks. All helps to keep the show going, and I so appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.